Hello, my name is Jonathan Lee, and this is my sensory bio project for 2022 for animal behavior. And the animal that I will be discussing about is the Atlantic horseshoe crab. The scientific name is Limulus polyphemus. And let's get right to it, shall we? So this is a little bit about the Atlantic horseshoe crab. So they're found in the Gulf of Mexico and along the eastern coast of the US. You could honestly drive maybe a couple miles from New York City and probably find one in the marshy areas. And hence why they do live in brackish water. They are aquatic arthropods, which means that they are somewhat related to scorpions and snakes, and they feed on worms, clams, crustaceans, algae, as well as other animals. And the blood of the Atlantic horseshoe crab is actually used in the pharmaceutical industry to detect bacterial endotoxins in drugs. So this can be used sort of as a quality test to make sure that there's no harmful substances in the drugs. And yeah, so let's move on. So the major senses that I will be discussing are vision and olfaction. So we can already see before going right in, we can see that horseshoe crabs do have some sense of vision because they do have eyes, more than two. And we can see right here olfactory organ, and we're going to get into that for olfaction. So starting off with vision, we can see that we have a total of 9 eyes. We have two lateral compound eyes, so that's here and here. And then each eye contains about 1,000 omnitidia, which are basically rods and cones. Think of ours, but just like so many of those, and which makes their vision super unique and super powerful. And the compound eyes, it's almost like a bug's eye. If you looked close up, it has that hexagonal shape, except with horseshoe crabs, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit more random and scattered about. In addition to the 2 lateral compound eyes, we can also see 5 simple eyes on the carapace. So that's 1, 2, 3, 2 endoparietal eyes. 2 median eyes and 1 endoparietal eye below it. And then there's a rudimentary lateral eye here and on the other side as well. And then we have the 2 simple eyes on the underside. Those are also referred to as the ventral eyes, which are underneath the horseshoe crab. So in addition to that, the horseshoe crab also has a photoreceptor array located on the telson, that is this part of the horseshoe crab. And the median eyes and the endoparietal eye are able to detect UV light as well as moonlight from the moon. So this is the purpose of the vision. So vision is super important to horseshoe crabs through every stage of their lives. Simple eyes are used during embryonic or larval stages. And there was actually a study performed that showed that even when horseshoe crabs were in eggs, they did respond to light, suggesting that, these simple eyes are heavily used for detecting brightness. And then the lateral eyes become more sensitive at night. The horseshoe crab will actually release chemicals into its body so that those lateral eyes become more sensitive, and it allows them to detect other horseshoe crabs. This can help them, maybe find a mate at night, or possibly, stay together in a group if it protects them from predators. And then the photoreceptor array aids them in circadian rhythm because it helps the horseshoe crabs detect whether it's day and night, and that way they can maintain that day and night cycle. So the median and the endoparietal eyes can help the horseshoe crabs track the lunar cycle. As I mentioned before, those eyes are able to detect moonlight. So it's very important for the reproduction of horseshoe crabs because the spawn periods of horseshoe crabs peak on new and full moons. And then the horseshoe crab vision has also been shown that by detecting brightness and shape, it can also recognize potential mates, especially males who are searching for a female horseshoe crab. And that's vision. So olfaction is a little bit more straightforward since it's not as complicated as the vision. We can see that the horseshoe crab has a small olfactory organ located on the underside. It almost creates this like triangle underneath the exoskeleton, and it's located underneath the body near the ventral eyes. So the ventral eyes are here and here. So you almost have this broader triangle shape formed by the olfactory organ. Another way that horseshoe crabs are able to smell and detect chemicals in the water is actually through their legs as well. So their legs actually contain chemoreceptors in addition to the chemoreceptors in the olfactory organ. And basically the purpose of that is that the horseshoe crab can essentially locate their prey just by crawling over and scavenging the ocean floor. As I said earlier, like a lot of their prey do include worms, clams, crustaceans, which are found at the bottom of the ocean. So that's it for my sensory bio project. Let me know if you have any questions, what else you would like me to talk about. And here's my bibliography. It's very long. I included some for the images, as well as I included a paper over here and another paper over here. So yeah, feel free to check out those links, and I hope you enjoyed my video.